Hello and welcome back to my airline on AirlineSim. And the news that I have for you today from Global Freightways is there have been 757s been delivered this week, and here's three of them at our Louisville hub. A bit of AI magic there, but yeah. So this video is going to be a bit of a shorter video. Just going over the main thing that's happened this week and my future plans for the airline. So again, we're back with Global Freightways, out of our Louisville hub. As you can see, all of these flights have just taken off out my Louisville hub here. So what's changed this week? Well, the main things, obviously, the 757s have been delivered. Now, I had to really think about getting them. So there were 16 757s on the market, on the second-hand market. And I snapped them up after doing some calculations. So basically, on this game, if you get more than 3 maintenance categories, your maintenance costs across the board go up by 15%. So I went into fuel costs, I went into maintenance costs, I went into potential revenue and all this sort, versus buying 16 737s off from the factory. And in the end, over 3 months, with the help of ChatGPT, of course, I'm not that clever, but we worked out, based on potential revenue, based off the lower costs, based off everything, that we would actually make 12 million more profit over 3 months if I went down the route of buying the 757s. That's including the maintenance penalty. So I was more than happy to get them in. I don't think anyone who's an aviation geek can sit there and say that they don't like the 757. What a lovely jet that is. I think it's a personal favourite for a lot of people. It's definitely one of my favourite aircraft of all time. So I was more than happy to get them in. And I only scheduled their flights yesterday. So about half of them went on upgorging from Dash 8s or 737s to 757s. So, for example, so there's a couple of them here. Bravo Hotel Mike. And so here we go. So, Bravo Hotel November. This flight here used to be done by a 737-700. Upgorged it now to a 757 and more cargo capacity, and they're very profitable, these 757s. So it's very, very good. On top of that, I have opened some long haul routes with some 767s and the remaining 757s. So EMA is a 75, LHR is a 76, and the rest of these I think are 757s. Now, not all of these will work. Again, trial and error. I haven't got any cargo feed on down here or over in Europe, so some might not work. But yeah, the 757s have allowed me to do some longer routes out of Louisville. And yeah, I know it's Louisville, not Louisville. I was corrected. I feel stupid. I really should have known it's Louisville, to be honest with you. That's a complete embarrassment for myself, who I'm meant to be very well versed in geography, so I should have known it's a French based word. But yeah, anyway, so that's basically the main thing that's happened in the last week. Is I brought the 757s and upgraded some routes. And the other thing is, if I go back here, as you can see from the sort of waves, let me turn off the planes there. As you can see here, there's a sort of reminiscence. Oh God, it's too late for this nonsense. You can see there's a start of a Miami hub going on there. So a small hub going there. Eventually, and this goes into my plans for next month, this will be another hub just like any of these others around here. So Miami is going to be one of my main hubs. But yeah, so what's going to be happening in the future is in real life, I'm starting a new job and I'm going to be moving house. So when life gets busy like this, what I tend to like to do with this game is like to give myself sort of goals. And then I can just log in when I can and go, right, this is what I've got to do. And I just do it. So I over the last day, this evening and yesterday, I came up with the plan that I'm going to do going forward. So eventually, this airline is going to be global. It's going to be like a FedEx. It's going to have bases all over the world. I want it to be a proper like DHL, FedEx, UPS, that kind of thing. I want it to be the biggest cargo airline on the server. That's basically kind of what I want to go for. So I was tempted to start my sort of international expansion, maybe start in Canada, maybe go down to South America, maybe open in Europe. But then I just thought, nah, there's too much of America left for me to get. So this is what I'm going to plan going forward. So in terms of my network, there's three things I'm going to do. So this is in terms of my cargo network, where how I get packages from A to B to C across the country. As you know, I've got my dual hub system here with Rockford and Louisville. Sort of Louisville's the world port. This is the one where it's going to have all the international flights coming into it, and this has routes to pretty much everywhere in the country. Basically, name an airport, this flight goes to it. It doesn't matter if it overlaps with Rockford or Alliance or anything like that. Rockford mainly deals with routes sort of up here, from sort of Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, these sort of airports up here. And for example, Louisville flies to every single Florida airport, whereas Rockford only flies to Miami. So it's all very sort of geographical based hubs. So that's the sort of northern hub. This is the world port. My Alliance Fort Worth hub down here is obviously the hub I made on the last video. That's the sort of the South Texas sort of hub for that geography area. My West Coast hub is Ontario. And I've started a hub up in Anchorage, and now my sort of Caribbean, Central America, South America hub is going to be Miami, which I've just started yesterday, flying some Dash 8s into the Caribbean and a few South American routes down here. However, so over the next month, my Miami hub's going to get just as big as these other hubs. I'm going to be flying lots of Dash 8s in and around the Caribbean and over to Central and South America. I'm going to base a few Dash 8s up here for Alaska routes into my Anchorage hub. Redtail Aviation is also going to help out with that, with some Cessnas and Dorniers up there. But there's one glaring area of this country which I just don't have any hub in. It's going to be probably the smallest one of the sort of lot, and whether it's really going to be called a gateway hub like the others, I don't know. But there's no East Coast hub now. The reason for that is, well, twofold really. Number one, these airports are close, so if a package wants to get from Boston to Jacksonville, that's not a huge detour. And that's the main reason why there isn't these massive cargo hubs like there is on the West Coast in America. And that ties into the second point, which most of the big cargo airports are actually the big airports. So you're talking like Newark and Philadelphia and those sort of airports. Now, I could set up a base at like Philadelphia, um, but then I'm competing with the belly cargo of all the passenger flights, which I don't want to do. And if you've noticed with my network, I think the busiest passenger airport, will be Miami. But the only reason why I'm doing that is because of location, obviously. Like Miami's just perfect. But other than that, like Ontario is a smaller airport in terms of passengers. Rockford doesn't have any passenger flights. Alliance doesn't have any passenger flights. Um, that's kind of been a part of my strategy. So I don't really want to compete with belly cargo, basically. So I had a look at what DHL, UPS, FedEx, and all them lot do in real life because I did do some OOS research on this server just to see whether I do need a north to south east coast hub. And I looked up a cargo package going from Philadelphia to Jacksonville and Savannah. And this package was going everywhere. It was going to like Rockford and then down to Memphis and then across. This other one was going through Cincinnati and then Atlanta. And honestly, there is a market for a north-south sort of East Coast hub, but it's going to be obviously a lot smaller. Obviously, these hubs can do most of the heavy lifting. So I had a look at what these other companies do in real life. Now, I think Columbia here in real life, I think is the UPS Southern Regional Hub. Let's have a look. Yeah. So if you have a look here, in real life, UPS set up at Columbia Airport. This is the UPS. So as you can see there, that's only gone to one there. But look, there's 757s and of UPS there. And I believe FedEx also has hub over there as well. Is that some smaller Cessna planes over there? So that's one airport in this sort of area, in the sort of Carolinas. And there's also Greensboro, as well as the other one of the two airports that I'm looking at. This again has a dedicated cargo area. As you can see here, there's a DHL one there, and then look at that FedEx one there. So in real life, FedEx and UPS use these two to sort of connect packages up and down. I think Charleston's another one. I believe is another airport that these companies use. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so, but what am I thinking? Oh, Charleston's the 787 factory, isn't it? So I'm gonna decide between the two, but I think I'm gonna go with Greensboro. I'm gonna have a very small north-south regional hub. Basically, my South Atlantic regional hub will be maybe Greensboro or Columbia, basically. Oh no, Wilmington, isn't it? Wilmington's the other one. Where's the airport here? Here we go. I think this is the prime one, isn't it? Could be wrong. Am I wrong? Can't see any cargo hub there. Oh wait, is that a FedEx? That is a FedEx plane there, but yeah, no, I'm being stupid. I digress. So, if I get up my notepad here, this is basically the plan for the network in a second. So I'm going to beef up Miami, do the north and south hub here with either Greensboro or Charleston. Columbia, and the Anchorage hub. On top of that, I'm also going to base planes at all the other cargo airports. Now, this might sound a bit daft, but this is what DHL does, this is what FedEx does, this is what UPS does. So I'm going to take all the major cargo airports. You're talking Indianapolis, Dayton, Toledo, Cincinnati, Oakland, San Bernardino, and Lakeland. I'm gonna base just a handful of planes each. So if you go here, this is now the fleet plan. So basically, I've come to the end now. I've got 4 more 737s to be delivered, and I've got 4 planes here needing to be scheduled. So there's no used planes on the market. So if I go here, there's no cargo 737s on the market at all. There's no 757 cargos here. There's no Dash 8s anymore. I think I got all of them that are on the market. See, no Dash 8s. And the 767s, there's the Dash 200 freighters, but I've already got a fleet of like 20 of them. And as great as they are, and I love them to pieces, they'll be with us for a while. I don't need any 767-200s at the moment. When I'm expanding around the rest of the world, maybe then, but I don't need a plane that big at the moment. It doesn't quite fit in. So I need to order planes now. So I need to know how many planes I need to order. So this is kind of the plan I came up with. So this is my Greensboro South Atlantic Regional Hub. I'm going to have 12 mainline planes based there and a few red tails. Will be based at Cessna 408s. I'm going to call when I said I was going to base a few planes at all the major airports. So Cincinnati is going to have 10 planes, a mixture of everything. There, Indianapolis and Oakland are going to have 7. Dayton, Toledo, and SBD are all going to have 5. I'm not going to Memphis. I already do lots of flights out of Memphis anyway. But I've got a friend there who I talk to quite regularly on Discord. He is the Flying Bear Line 2. He actually leased me some 767s. So I'm not going to do Memphis. I don't want to compete with him directly. My expansion of my Anchorage hub is going to be 737s. These are going to be... I'm going to use the 737s to fly from Anchorage down. Go to like Boise and Seattle and all that lot. A few Dash 8s and some red tails up there as well. And it's going to be a very similar story for my Miami hub. So, with all this in mind, I need about 50 737s. I need about 20, I think about 18 Dash 8s, I think I realised. And then I need about another 10 planes across the red tail fleet, whether that's ATRs, Cessnas, or 228s. That's what I'm going to need. And I'm going to place an order for these planes now. I've got 37 million, so I might not be able to do all of them, but I'm going to do the 737s. Or do I do the Dash 8s? I need a mixture of both. I do need a mixture of both. So how much is 10 of these are going to be like 30 million, isn't it? 21 million for 10 of those. I need like 50. Oh. Now I can go to here and get a loan. I can afford the debt. There's only 15 million there, 2 million there. How much profit am I making? 5.2. So if I do 20 million here, 57 million, that's another 500,000. Yeah, I'll just eat the costs for now. Let's get 10. Let's get 15 737s. How much is the... So what are these routes? No, I need the high gross weight. I need the longer range version. Let's do, for now, 15. That's 32 million. Okay, let's do 16. Yeah, 16 737s, 800s, 34. Place the order. That's BHR to Z and BIA to VP big. And then let's do some dash 8s. I don't need as many, so 16. Let's get 8. How many is 8? It's only 7 million. Right, we'll do 7 million. Okay, and I've got 16 million left. Do I get some of the really cheap 700s? Let's get, how much is 5 of them? 8 million. Yeah, okay, 8 million. Let's just top that back up to 10. Okay, so I'll have to pay off those debts soon-ish. So there you go. If I go here, I've got 5 of these here. I'm thinking these are going to be at Greensboro. The 800s, some new dash 8s, perfect. So that's me sorted. So thank you very much for watching. I know a few of you have reached out to me to do some sort of tutorials on how to play the game. I would absolutely love to. I just don't know when I'll get the time to, but I will definitely look into it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll create a new subsidiary. So I'll create a new passenger airline under British Atlantic Airways, and I'll just sort of show you all the steps and everything that I use to do that. But yeah, okay. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Goodbye. Night night.